Okay. Now, moving on. What do you do in your spare time? Okay. I do brain teasers. I do games. I do online games. I do crosswords. I do anything involving cards. I create things. Um, when I say create things, I like to do things with my daughter. And obviously, we like to create pictures. We like to create models. There's not a lot here because my daughter always takes it back home to her mum's place. And in amongst that, the spare time I do get, I like to think. I simply like to think. Sometimes that does, in itself, create poetry. But I like to think. I like to reason with the world. I like to theorize. The theory I had only the other day is that God cannot exist. And here's why. Because there can be no such thing as the omnipotent being. Because the all knowing, all powerful being would know that the only or the most powerful entity in existence in the universe is the continuity of infinity. So thus, this this to say God existed, this deity would realize this. And so would continue to expand one's consciousness. But if it expands the consciousness to each level to which that deity rises to, yeah, it's more than what it was before. So to which point do we worship this deity at a point when it was less? Meaning it was never and never can be the omnipotent being. So thus, God cannot exist. There we go, I've just destroyed the theory of God. Okay, what else did you ask me? What tactics do you use to write your poetry? Yeah. Okay, this is what I do. The one thing you need to do is once you have the impulse, it doesn't matter if it's an impulse of mood, an impulse to write, a desire, whatever it is, you need to encapsulate that as quickly as possible. Because the thought in the human mind can corrode within something like less than 30 seconds. Now, the best thing to do is to find a repeating movie or a sound, a repeating sound, whatever it might be, or a repeating GIF image, what have you, or whatever comes first. Put that on repeat play. Keep the impulse alive in the mind, and then let the words come. That's my tip to you. Let the words come from putting things on repeat play. It could be music, could be an ambient sound, could be repetition of a movie, could be one picture, along with all those things. Keep that on repeat play. Keep the thought in here, and you'll find what happens is the impulse intensifies. And that's the best advice I can give you. That's a tactic. Okay. Do you write any other style of writing besides poetry? Besides media journalism, which is what I'm still doing the course at the moment, other than poetry, no. But I'm looking, hopefully, this is a bit of a thing I actually thought of today, and it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time actually, is short films, short movies. I like to write scripts for those. Movies where sometimes the characters don't say anything, it's all action based. I would love to do that. I really, really would. And I believe that poetry can actually be exemplified from such an enigma, from such a presentation. Poetry can come from that too. So to answer your question, at the present moment in time, no, I don't write anything other than poetry. Sorry, but I will hopefully in time. Okay, I had a little bit of a beer break there. That's why I turned the camera off. Okay, oh, here we go. Tiny spectacle. First of all, she asked me what happened to my question. Quick, there it is! No, sorry, I don't know what happened to your question. Sorry about that, tiny spectacle. Anyway, so he says, damn YT! That's what she says here. Absolutely. Here goes again in case it's been lost. What is one of your favourite lines from your own poetry? You know, one that after writing it gave you goosebumps and made you feel like you really got it right. And say why you like it too. Okay, joking aside. There was a poem I wrote that did that for me. The reason it did it for me is because for many years I'd always lived next to, or whatever house I was living in, I'd always lived next to motorways, roads, highways. And as a teenager I was fascinated by journeys, watching people travel. I don't know why. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Pie in the Sky. Look it up on imdb.com if you haven't. Check it out, it's really good. Because I could emphasize with the characters in that. And I remember once when I was a teenager, I got these special glasses that showed up, once you put them on, they showed up the ultraviolet of reflective rays from light. And so I used to watch this when I was living in Basingstoke in Hampshire, which is in the south of the United Kingdom. I used to go up on this bridge and watch the cars driving underneath and be so utterly fascinated by this. I know, I'm probably a total train spotter. But the poem which encapsulated that, which I'll read for you now, it's actually already up on YouTube, but on my channel. But I'll read this to you now because there's a number of lines from this, you know, which did it for me. This poem itself does it for me, and I feel what a better time to read it now. The poem in question is called I Am Highway. A poignant and commonly foreseeable act of motion, so autonomous and yielding to servitude of devotion, seemingly so obliging as yet every sign is on every road, encapsulating the function of journey so now bestowed, untainted by a permanence of an uncaring highway surface that doesn't care if you're black, white, or whatever race, all of which are born the same but unequal by comparison of the money you earn, the savings you burn for every occasion. If you stand by me and observe my every human witness, or is the animal for crossing hindered by commuter duress? Always to the maximum, never faltered unless for congestion, or the unfortunate event of a life I took via driver aggression. They all go somewhere, and never to sleep and never rest, everything from commerce to a woman with a baby to her breast. A place in mind of recitation from yesterday's utmost desire, the executive in office attire, or the services to put out the fire. I have weathered every freedom from hence I was a field of soil, a landscape untouched before many machines came and did spoil. I am the artery of someone's salvation, but a purpose served in silence. How lonely I am, yet many do come, though I remain in such penance. I will not ever change so far as being of the mercy of your design, from years of going by, renewed of modus apparatus to refine. Started from paper, yet carved and implemented by much stone, to lay out the future for a population as vehicular engines moan. If perhaps I could arise for one day and foresee what is destination, fall at the splendor, to personally maneuver my own navigation. For now I am every second of every minute of every moving hour. I brave the four seasons, baking sun and the rain to which you cower. You are so lucky to be in practice of a tiny detail called freedom, that I am so far exempt, yet you protest when denied so seldom. For I bathe the passageway for the geographic of your everyday. I am the daily granted platform of your life, for I am highway.